whatever instrument you're trading, I see you guys are doing well. But if you're a gold trader, then you guys are the real goats, right? Now, if you've been trading for a while, then you already know that gold can be extremely volatile, right? And that's the kind of charts, or that's the kind of instruments that I love to trade. All right. So last week, what happened? Let's go to the daily. We're on the weekly. Last week, what happened? I told you guys, we're looking for a pullback, but unfortunately for us, price didn't actually pull back the way we expected, right? Price just began to shoot up. And I'm not surprised that that happened, because if you look at gold, you see that gold was really bullish, right? And so gold does this sometimes. You will just see gold just pushing up. So if you actually cut the trade, I told you guys we're in on some buys at around this point. All right. So if you got in on this trade somewhere at around here, then you're already in massive profit. Okay, you're already in massive profit. And I have this trade running, right? And this has already gone up about 3,000 plus pips already. Okay, this has gone about 3,000 pips already upwards, right? And I said this was most likely going to happen. If you watch our previous videos, we talked about this. All right, and we're also in on some trades below, right? Now, guys, so what are we going to be looking out for in this new week that we are stepping into? Remember, you always get we always give you guys good information on this channel. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. And let me know in the comments if you're actually getting something from our videos. All right, talk to me, guys. Talk to me. Now, in this new week, what am I seeing? Now, we told you that we're expecting gold to push down. Gold didn't. Gold just began to fly. And like I said, if you're in on the trade already, you're already, right? So let's delete this. Let's delete this. Let's delete all this. Let's delete that. And let's delete this. Now, let's go to the weekly. We're gonna start the top down analysis now. We're gonna start the top down analysis, but let's delete this. This was the yearly fib levels that I took note of, because I was really hoping for price to come down as I saw this whole consolidation. Even though I suspected that that might not happen, we still saw what gold was doing over here, and we took advantage of that. Now, in this new week, what are we going to be looking out for? Now, let's start from the monthly time frame. So we do the top down analysis, and we see if gold is up to something. All right. Now, on the monthly, you can see clearly that gold has broken away from this range, right? This consolidation area. Gold has broken away, and whenever gold does this, just expect that gold is going to keep pushing up. Now, I think I spoke about this in one of our videos in the past, this year sometime. I don't know, I can't remember. I told you guys that gold will most likely be pushing up and reaching 4,000, right? And as you can see, gold is doing that already. Now, can we still get in on this move? Yes, we can. And that's why you need to make sure you watch this video to the end. All right, listen and follow what I'm about to explain. Now, it's quite simple. So what are we going to be looking out for? Now, currently, as gold has broken up and it seems to have resumed this bullishness, most likely this month is going to close bullish. But like I always say, anything can happen. We are not the ones controlling the movement of price, right? We only use the information given to us on the charts to come up with different probabilities of what we think could happen. Now, what are we going to do? Let's go to the weekly. Let's go to the weekly. On the weekly, what we can now wait for is we can wait for a significant pullback downwards. All right, we can wait for a significant pullback downwards for us to now begin to look for buying opportunities, right? We can wait for significant pullback downwards. Let me delete all this because there's no need for it. We've passed this phase, past that level. All right, so we can wait for significant pullback downwards into a significant level. Let me also delete. Let me just. I don't like deleting most everything, but let me just leave this like this. Okay. Okay, like I was saying, we can wait for a significant pullback downwards where we can now begin to look for buying opportunities, right? So where can we wait? Now you can see this level over here. This is the previous all-time high that we were at some point, but price now has broken above that all-time high, created a new all-time high, right? And then we can see this other level down here at 3450 level, right? So we can wait for price to get into these two zones. That's what I see. We can wait for price to get into these two zones, especially if you look closely, you can see that there's a fair value gap right over here on this weekly charts. We can also wait for price to get into that fair value gap, and that would make a whole lot of sense, right? So let's put that box there. That's the fair value gap that we're going to take note of. So we can wait for price to get into that fair value gap zone. Once price gets into that zone, let me put this a different color. Oh no. Once price gets into that zone, then we could now look for buying opportunities from that area, from that level, right? So these two levels, because gold could as well, we could see gold do something of this nature. We could see where's the drawing? We could see gold just come down into this point and then start to push up, right? Or we could even see gold come down into the zone and start to push up. So whichever one, we just need to wait for a major pullback, and once we see that pullback, we get in for our buys. Right now, don't focus so much on looking for selling opportunities. You focus so much on looking out for buying opportunities, but that doesn't mean that if we don't see the selling opportunities, we won't take them. All right, because I probably would still take some sales if I see a good sell, because I think we're going to see the pullback that we're going to be expecting, right? We might see a valid good setup for a sell, and we'll take it, right? Because we never know what could happen. So on the daily, now this is the daily charts. Now, seeing something similar, gold is very bullish. As you can see, gold is very bullish, extremely bullish at this moment. So we're going to be waiting, like I said, for price to get down into these levels. And once price gets down into these levels, then we are going to be looking for our buying opportunities, right? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And we can see this fair value gap we marked over here on the weekly. That's a key level also. And as you can see, this fair value gap somehow lines up with this heads and shoulders pattern, that this inverse heads and shoulders pattern that we have right over here, right? This neckline that we drew over here. So we can even say this entire place is a neckline, right? This entire place is a neckline, which levels up with this fair value gap, the entry of the fair value gap that we marked over there. All right, so once price gets into that zone, price must not get into this level, because we might not see price reach this particular level, right? So once we see price come down, price might give us a good opportunity for sales. Like I said, once we see that, we also can take that. Once price gets down into this level, then we start seeing the rejections we need from here, then we can take our buys to the upside. All right, but mind you, now this might not happen in this current week that we are stepping into, right? Because sometimes when gold moves like this, we can see one of two things happen, right? Or we could see a consolidation, right? We can see gold moving sideways for like the next 2 weeks or even 3 weeks before we see price actually drop down into this level. Or we can see gold moving sideways for not moving somehow sideways for like 2 weeks, right? The first week we might just see sideways movements, and then the second week we might see gold now drop into this level, which is when we might now see, or second week or so, that's when we might now see the opportunity for the buys, and then we take it up. That could happen. Like I said, we don't decide what happens on the charts. We only use the information given to us, and we use our experience over time with what we've observed, right? So like I said, if I see selling opportunities from wherever at this top, right, I'm going to take the sales, because right now gold has created all-time highs, and so at some point gold is going to want to drop and give us a major reversal or major pullback rather, right? And once I see that opportunity, I will most likely take the sales. All right, but when you're taking sales, you need to be very careful. Don't be so greedy, right? You have to be very careful. And once we see a major pull back down to a key zone, key level that we are looking at, we are marked out, right? And we see the opportunities for the buys, we're going to take the buys upwards, which is going to be within this entire area, right? So I think that's all we have. It's as simple as that. We don't even need to go down to the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the daily, the weekly is okay to give us the perspective that we need. Now let's go to the 4 hour. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, and ask me questions in the comment section. Now looking at the 4 hour, now this is the 4 hour. So like we said, still the same thing. I'll still be waiting for price to come down into this level, right? For us to look for good buying opportunities. Then we ride the market up again. Now, as you can see, we're just going to wait for selling opportunities. If we see good selling opportunities, we're going to take it. But right now, nothing. We've not seen nothing. Maybe at the beginning, at the start of the new week, and as the week goes, we'll see something. But there's really nothing right now. So just wait and we just watch. You see, let me say something, guys. When you're trading, you need to wait for price to come into your levels, and you need to wait for certain confirmations. You need to have certain things that you look out for before you get in on a trade, right? Don't try to trade with FOMO, that's fear of missing out, and don't try to force a trade. Don't try to get in on a trade because you see what people are posting. No, have a strategy that you stick with. Have certain things that you look out for. There are certain conditions that the market, the instrument must present to you, and until you see those conditions present itself, you don't get in on the trade. And that's why sometimes you'll see I could be off the charts and I would not take a single trade for like a whole month, right? Because I'm waiting for a particular setup to present itself. If I don't see those setups present themselves, then I'll just rather stay off the charts and just keep watching the markets and let the market do its thing. You must not force a trade just because you see what people are doing. That's why I always say, tell people you need to focus on your own setups and focus on your own trading, right? It's not a competition. You're not trying to prove anything to anybody. You're just trying to, just make the most of whatever it is that you're doing. Don't stop focusing on what people are doing. Focus on what you're doing, and wait for your own setups, right? So that's that. So I do hope you guys have a wonderful trading week. I have that. This is just what I'm going to be looking out for. These this is the level I'm going to be looking out for on the daily. Right, I'm going to be waiting for price to come down into either of these zones, most especially this particular level here, 3450 into 3430 levels. So if I see rejections from the zones, that are most likely going to be going in for buys. Now, like I said, price could actually come down lower, right? So once price gets into this zone, I'm not just going to go in blindly. I'm going to wait and watch to see what price is going to do. And once I start seeing the confirmations that I need, then I'm going to get in on the trade. So that's it, guys. Hope you guys are having an amazing trading year. Gold has been significantly bullish this year, and looks like it has resumed in its bullishness, right? So let's see. Peace out, guys. Have a wonderful trading week. Bye.